Before we begin, just want to give a heads up to my pre-K through 4 teachers. This section is mostly for grades 5 through 12. Feel free to watch if you want, but at this time you will not need this video from Schoology and You. As always, feel free to pause, rewind, and rewatch this and any of the other videos to aid you in learning Schoology. Middle school and high school teachers. We sometimes forget that our students have multiple teachers because we are so focused on our own content. We need to be aware of the workload we assign our students and whether or not a student falls behind. There is a workload section in Schoology that's going to help us out with this idea. Down on the left side, underneath your course picture, there is a little thing with a little guy in front of a notebook that says Workload Planning. When we open this up, it's going to list your students on the left side, and it's going to have the days of the week, and it's going to have these little percentages breakdowns. Now, student workload is automatically based on 2 or more items. The whole idea behind this is it shows how many assignments a student has in all of their courses, not just yours. So when you're starting to plan for tests and quizzes, it might be a good idea to check out what students have going on. This isn't exactly the best example to show because we have, I only have 4 students and they currently don't really have any other assignments besides the ones I assign them. To give you a better example, I'm going to use the Help Center from Schoology to give you an example of what this is. So for this language arts class, and I wish I could zoom this in a little bit, but I can't, we see that these 2 students have 2 assignments on Monday and Tuesday. Up here, this is the total number of students that have 2 or more items on those days. So we've got 9 students on Monday, 9 students on Tuesday. So that means that these students have a pretty high amount of work that's already going out on those 2 days. When students typically have a high amount of work, we want to avoid assigning assignments on those days and maybe wait for another day to do this. This way we can see what kind of workload the children have, and we don't want to overburden them, especially our students who are newer to having multiple courses. You can also set how many items you want to see whether or not a student has. If you want to see if they have one or more, or maybe 4 or more, especially for high school students who have multiple courses, you can adjust this. You can also adjust to look ahead in the weeks. So if I want to look at next week to see how many assignments my students have then, or if I wanted to look back on the calendar and see maybe why my students weren't able to study for a previous test, I can go back and look at the previous week.